What's up, guys? My name's Captain Dave, and welcome back to the Captain's Quarters, the video in which I go through and answer all of your questions and comments from last time's video. And no, do not adjust your television set, your monitor, your desktop, your iPad, your phone, your tablet, whatever it is that you are watching this on. The planets have aligned, the plan has come into fruition, and finally, after like 5 years on YouTube, you guys get to finally see what I look like. Hello, everyone. I hope I live up to everything you ever dreamed I would be, but yeah. So this is kind of cool. This is something that you guys have, some of you guys have been asking for a very, very long time. And I mean, 5 years. It was due. It was about time you guys actually got to see what I look like. You actually you see who it is that you're watching, and it's kind of cool because like I've always said, like when I was doing these Captain's Quarters, the one thing I've always wanted to do is actually talk to you guys, and it was cool just answering your questions with that little thumbnail. As like the background to the video, but I always wanted it like this. I wanted it more personal. Like I'm actually talking to you guys, and like the general progression of this, where I want it to go, is I want it to live stream. So that way I can answer questions from say like the week before, and I can also answer questions like live as you're asking me. So I think that's cool. That's where I want this to go. But as you guys know, I've got a lot of stuff going on right now. It's the last week of deadline month, and things are getting very pushed for time. A part of me thought I wasn't actually going to get this done, but I thought after the debacle of last week, where I didn't get the last Captain's Quarters up at all, I thought I can't do that to you guys again. So it's a bit of, I suppose, a bit of backstory first before we kick this thing off. This was supposed to be happening last week, and a lot of you guys even said that you were quite excited for it. You were like you're really like, finally that moment you finally get to know what I look like, which sounds so weird, me saying that out loud. It sounds so egotistical, like yes, look at me. But yeah, a lot of you guys were really excited. I felt like I kind of let you down because I sat there and I recorded the entire video. I sat down and answered all of your questions. The questions I'm probably going to re-answer now, but I sat there and answered the whole thing. I recorded the whole thing, but unfortunately, 5 minutes into it, when I went back to watch it, I wasn't as awkward as I felt I was gonna be. But I watched it back after 5 minutes, and I was using my my Blue Snowball microphone, which I never use for anything. And this is case in point why I don't use it for anything, because about 5 minutes in, I don't know if I knocked it or if it's just a useless piece of equipment. But there was this crackly sort of sound in the background, and you can still hear what I was saying, but it was obnoxious. And for over an hour and a half, that was all you could hear. So I decided to scrap it. I didn't have time to record another one. It was just a hell of a week last week. So yes, this is cool. Finally getting to do this using my good old Turtle Beach 21s, what I use for all my walkthroughs. All the Captain's Quarters, been using for 5 years, and the best money that I think I've ever spent. These bad boys work really well. There's other than a person honking outside, there's a slight problem I found with this webcam, and it's the question I want to ask you guys for like this week. Like other than the questions you normally ask me, it's a question I want to ask you guys. Is what's the audio quality like with this? Because originally I went to use the Turtle Beach because it just sort of sounded slightly better. Because you guys know how this microphone sounds. You've listened to me talk for over 5 years. But for some reason, when I use this microphone through the webcam, I don't know if it's just because the webcam, it wasn't really an expensive one. It was alright, but it wasn't like the most expensive one. So I think I sort of lose a little bit of the audio quality. I've got it on all the best settings, like the absolute biggest settings I can. The file type for this is probably going to be ridiculous. But yeah, so let me know in the comments what if this audio quality is alright. If this is something bearable, then I'll stick with this and we'll just keep going like this. If it's kind of irritating and it could be a little bit better, then maybe I'll look into getting maybe like a better webcam or a more expensive webcam or something like that when I can eventually scrape the funds together. But yes, this is cool. This is cool. This is what I wanted. Sit here and actually talk to you guys. I mean, I think I held off doing it this long. I was kind of worried, kind of a little bit skeptical. But before I started doing this, I was a huge fan of watching walkthroughs and gameplay and stuff like that on walkthrough, and obviously that's why I got into it myself as well. But there's this weird thing, is like you get this vision inside your head of what you think someone looks like, or even if you don't, you just hear their voice for so long, you feel like you know them. And sometimes after such a long amount of time, to then see what they actually look like, it can kind of shatter that image you have inside your head. And I was worried that if that happened, that might actually make some of you like not be able to enjoy my videos as much, because like now you know what I look like. It's destroying what image you have in your head. Like, you're not seeing Gaston, you're not seeing Commander Shepard, you're not seeing Spider-Man, you're seeing my face. And I was kind of worried a little bit. I mean, like, but the thing is that I found like the longer I left it, the more likely that was going to be true. So I thought, bite the bullet. You guys want to see it. I wanted to do this. So, yeah, let's move on out. Because I know a long time ago, like way when I first started my channel, I actually did reveal my face for about 2 videos and later deleted them. And I remember somebody saying the same thing to me then. They said they just can't watch my videos in the same way now they know what I look like. So I thought that was weird though, because there's loads of YouTube people who do that irritating face cam thing in the bottom corner, and that's just as interesting as it always is. So anyway, let's get on answering your questions. We have a lot of them. Since I missed last week, I've got to go read through, re-answer the questions that I answered for the video that never got uploaded. But luckily, my memory's appalling, as you guys know. So I'm probably gonna completely forget what it is you've asked me. So I'm going to read through, answer all your questions, and some of the other questions that are coming within the last week as well. And also, remember you guys, if I do not read out your comment this week, it's not because I've sat there and gone, I don't like that comment. It's simply because YouTube can be weird, and sometimes it doesn't show a comment. Like if I refresh the page 3 times, 3 different sets of comments will come up. It's really weird. So if I don't read out your question, just write it again this week, and I'm sure lightning will hopefully not strike twice for you. But anyway, let's get this moving on with AJ Singh, who has a few questions. Start off with a bang, AJ. So let's go through these one at a time. What do you think of Avengers Age of Ultron? I loved Avengers Age of Ultron. I've spoke about this heavily in many different episodes of the podcast with Tommy in Segway City, live from Segway City. So yeah, so if you really want to get my fully fledged answer, I think it was podcast number 4. We spoke about it in great detail. It's in the title, but we spoke about it in great detail. But yes, I loved it. I loved Age of Ultron. I think it was fantastic, and personally, I think it's one of my favourite Marvel movies thus far. So I've seen it twice now. I would love to see it more, but as you guys know, strapped for cash and very busy, so it's a bad combination to go watch movies. But no, it's a very good movie. Definitely recommend go seeing it, and I think right now it's one of my favourites. The only thing I think can top this so far will be Civil War and Infinity War, or maybe Guardians 2. I've got high hopes for that as well. But what do you think of Ultron in Avengers Age of Ultron? Yes, Ultron was a lot different than I thought he was going to be, because in the comics, Ultron is created by Hank Pym, and he's very much your stereotypical AI. He does not compute, I will destroy. Not exactly like that. You get my point. He is serious. He is calculating by the numbers. He is logic. He is procedure. He's efficient. And he's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to destroy you guys, and this is what's going to happen. In Age of Ultron, I feel what they've done with a lot of their characters, and I think it's a really quite cool thing. The same sort of thing they did with the Ultimate Universe as well. And not in the sense of how Ultron is, not in the sense of how Ultron is in the MCU. Like that's not like the Ultimate Universe. I'm just saying, like how they changed the characters in the Ultimate Universe. That's how they've done it with the MCU. You got your same characters, they're just slightly different. And I feel they've done that with Ultron, but it's been kind of cool because in Age of Ultron, Tony Stark is the one who creates Ultron. And part of his personality is obviously in Ultron because he was the creator of Ultron. So I think it makes perfect sense that Ultron is kind of flippant, kind of sarky, kind of comical in a really sort of serious, aggressive tone. But yeah, I thought it was cool. He was not the Ultron I was expecting at all, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, let's face it, if Tony Stark is to create something, it's going to have a reflection of himself in that. And I know you could say that Jarvis doesn't, but Jarvis does to a certain extent. He might be quite serious, or Vision, I should now say. He's kind of serious, but at the same time, he does sort of communicate back and forth with Tony Stark in a flippant way. So, no, I liked him. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I thought he was cool. I thought he was definitely cool. Which is your favourite Avengers movie, number 1 or number 2? I'm going to say number 2. And that's by a very thin margin. Number 1 was awesome, and it's always going to be a good film because it's the first Avengers film. But number 2, number 2 was what I've always kind of wanted with superhero movies, and especially Avengers movies. It's the combination of everything that's been happening in Cap 2, Thor 2, Iron Man 3, Guardians to a certain extent. Everything that's been happening. This is the culmination of all of that. And that's what I love. You don't need any backstory. You don't need any building up of characters. There's no setting the scene. None of that. It's just straight into the action. Because the setting the scene and building up the story has been Winter Soldier, has been Thor Dark World, has been Iron Man 3. That's been setting the scene. And all the post-credits and stuff like that. So they literally just say, no, go. Straight from the get-go, fighting, arguing. Then there's them like hanging out in the Avengers Mansion. And it does actually, the start, even though it's just more for comical, aspect, it does actually pertain to the rest of the story. It's showing how they get on now. It shows how they've got this whole structure and how well established the Avengers have come. So it had a lot of, even though it was just more there for humour, it had a lot of good points. However, the only issue with the first Avengers film is they still had to do that building up. They still had to do that storytelling. Because yes, you had already had Captain America First Avenger, Thor, Iron Man 1 and 2, the Hulk film. You'd had them all individually, but this was the first time they were together. So you still needed that, hi, I'm so-and-so, I'm so-and-so, then they get together, then they butt heads, and then they come together and rally for the cause. You still needed all that. So it was really only like the last half hour of the film they were actually the Avengers. But what I liked about Avengers 2 was straight from the get-go, they are Avengers. Yeah, they might have butted heads, but they're Avengers from the start, and they were Avengers to the end. And I loved it. I thought that was really cool. Plus, just Joss Whedon said something about how there was that great, almost one-shot. No, I don't mean one shot as in like an extra little film. It was almost recorded in one shot in the first Avengers film, where there's that big fight scene in New York, and it's following Iron Man around, and then it switches to Hulk and Thor, and it's almost like one camera shot. He said he wanted to do something like that, like the Battle of New York, but instead of just making it larger, he wanted to make it more intense. So he could have easily just said, the whole of America is fighting! Ah! But no, he said he refined it to one tiny location, but the action was just so intense. Like he said, that scene where the Guardian wanted the detonation device, fantastic. That was literally like it was ripped from the pages of a comic book. Like one of those scenes where you see all these characters in the comics just jumping at each other, fighting, and you're sitting there for about a minute or two just staring at the page, looking at who's fighting who and what's going on and how they're doing it. It was like that. There was just so much going on, and they're all like running around and flying around each other. Fantastic. Absolutely loved it. So, number 1 was awesome, but number 2 just takes the biscuit for me. What walkthrough are you going to do? Okay, so yeah, I've got this plan. I've got this plan over the summer. I've got 1 week left of deadline month, and then I am free as a bird to sit here and just focus on this channel. And I'm really excited. I'm actually really, you actually see me. I'm really giddy. I'm I'm really excited. There's so much I want to do. So Skyrim, obviously that's going to be going on for like so long. It's such a long game. I could almost guarantee it's going to go on longer than one of the individual Mass Effect games. Whether it goes on as long as the whole trilogy, I hope not. I hope it doesn't go on that long. But it's definitely going to go longer than any, like the Mass Effect 3 or anything like that. But yes, so Skyrim's going to go on for a long time. Walking Dead has got 5 episodes, which, if we can judge by episode 1, will probably get broken up into about 4 or 5 parts. So that's going to be going on for quite a while as well. However, when Walking Dead is finished, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do next, but I know the games that I want to do. So, I want to do the Lego Batman, the whole trilogy. I want to do all 3 games, obviously ending with, I forgot what the last one's called. Gotham something or other? But anyway, I want to play all 3 Lego Batman games. Lego Marvel Superheroes was fun as all hell, and the Batman games look just as fun. So, and I feel like I need to show DC a bit of love again. You know I'm a Marvel guy, but I feel like I need to show DC a bit of love. Other than the Batman games, I haven't really done too much DC, so I feel like I want to play the Lego Batman. I want to play all 3 of them. I want to play Batman Arkham Knight. However, I still need to get a next-gen console. And you know, guys know with my money constraints, that's probably quite a long ways off. But as soon as I get Arkham Knight and as soon as I start playing it, a walkthrough will be coming. But that's literally as and when I can afford to get a next-gen console. So, other than that, I also want to play the Lego Avengers game. When that comes out, that game looks like a lot of fun. And Lego Jurassic Park. There's a lot of Lego games coming, but don't worry, I'll split them up. Like, I won't just do Lego. It'll be like Lego something else, Lego something else. I won't just Lego the hell out of it, mainly because I will get bored if I just constantly do Lego. But also, I'm thinking of redoing some of my old walkthroughs. How I'm gonna space these out, I don't know. But I was thinking Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Shattered Dimensions, and Edge of Time. I was thinking they are some of my oldest walkthroughs, especially doing the Captain's Classics. I've been going over them again. I'm thinking this is fun. This is I would really like to redo that again. I think that'd be really cool to play those games again with like a brand new perspective as well. Like, I know so much more about Spider-Man now. I know so much more about the whole Marvel universe, because back then I think I'd only just started reading comics, whereas opposed to now I've been reading them for years. So it would be really cool, I think, to replay them again now. So that's my thoughts right now. A hell of a lot of Lego games. Arkham Knight when it comes out, or when I can eventually get it. And I'm thinking of redoing some older walkthroughs. So that's the plan thus far. There are other things I've been thinking about, but yeah, that's kind of in the wind. Stuff like X-Men Legends, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I was really shocked by how bored I got with that game. I thought I'd love it, But when will you complete Fallout New Vegas? Oh AJ, yeah. What a week, isn't it? You know, if I had a pound for every time someone asked me that question, man, I would not need to work. No, but as I said, if I ever did go back to Fallout New Vegas, odds are I'd probably just start a new walkthrough. Because it's been so long, like, Fallout New Vegas was one of the first walkthroughs I ever did. So to go back and play it now, not only would, in the space of one episode, my whole personality have changed. Because you think, like, 3-4 years ago, whenever that last episode of that walkthrough was, I was a completely different person back then. I was much younger. The way, if you listen to the commentary, the way I did everything was completely different. I'm a different person. So, like, suddenly, within one episode, my voice would change. It's got deeper as I've got older. Like, my personality changed, the way I would do everything. And also, I would have forgot completely how to play the game. So I feel like if I ever went back and actually did Fallout New Vegas, I'd need to start from scratch. To start from the very beginning and just muddle my way through. But if we've learned anything from Mass Effect, we've learned anything from Skyrim, if I start a game now, I'm going to finish it. So I wouldn't go back and start Fallout again unless I had full confidence that I was going to play the game all the way to the end. So, what is my favourite RPG game? It depends. Does Mass Effect count as an RPG? If it does, then Mass Effect the whole trilogy. And if you're going to narrow me down to one, then Mass Effect 2. If it doesn't count as an RPG, then Skyrim. I am enjoying your Skyrim walkthrough. It is one of your best walkthroughs that you have made, but I've not completed it yet so far. Please, can you take on a mammoth in Skyrim? Oh man, if we've learned anything from the Hag Ravens and the Wisp Mothers, and there's an enemy coming up in a video that hasn't been uploaded yet, who is weak as all hell and still kills me, I have learned that not to bite off more than I can chew. I think that's a lesson that I definitely need to get through my skull. That just because Gaston is all powerful, Gaston is the ever-loving Khajiit, it doesn't mean he can fight everything. It's weird, like you can take on a dragon and absolutely I'll decimate the thing, but take on like a Hag Raven and Lord Almighty, be careful. So I want to take on the mammoth, but I think I might bide my time. Wait till Gaston gets his one-handed skill and his light armor like increased a little bit before I do that. So. Anyway, yeah, that was a massive set of questions from AJ, starting off this thing with a bit of a bang. Next up we have Jim Veneer, who said, "Hey Dave, hope you're going to survive deadline week." Oh man, so do I. Last week's, we're so close, so much still to do. Oh dearie me, but I only have myself to blame. As far as Star Wars films go, the original trilogy 4, 5, and 6 are a must in my opinion. 1 and 2 are okay, and 3 is just way too emo in my opinion. Yeah, I think the general consensus is just around the world is that the first 3, being now 4, 5, and 6, are the best ones, and then the prequels. Nobody really seems to like the prequels too much, but one day I'm just going to have to sit down and just binge watch Star Wars. Just so I can say I've seen it. I feel it needs to be done. Yusuf Yasir said, "What's up, Dave? How's it going?" It's going awesome, Yusuf. It's going really awesome. Once deadline week's out of the way, it's going to be going even better. But my question for you is, when you reached 100,000 subscribers, will you do a special event like play GTA Online with all of your subs? And apart from that, I have run out of questions, so I will see literally because you will have a webcam. If not, then you've just made me look like an idiot. And when you said that you would find someone in your bush outside your house and did that impression, the only thing I can imagine was Gollum from Lord of the Rings sitting outside watching whilst whispering my precious. Anyways, have a good week. Well, I was going to have a good week until you said that. Now I'm worried there's someone outside my window. Great, that's it. You're going to get an hour and a half of me looking over my shoulders and those golems. Just my precious behind me. But anyway, yeah, so when I reach 100,000 subs, will I do a special event? Oh yeah, I can only assume I would. I mean, if I ever hit 100,000 subs, that'd be fantastic. That'd be brilliant. That'd be really cool. I mean, right now, I've been sitting around 30,000, 31,000 of you lovely people for quite a while now. But no, I mean, like, I never thought I was going to even get to this point, so. But if I get to 100,000, yeah, that'd be fantastic. I'd love it. I feel like I would definitely... I'd definitely owe you guys, like, and that's the thing. Like, I've never not done something like this before, and it's not because I don't want to. It's just I don't know. I get to a certain extent. It's kind of like the whole webcam thing. I'm kind of ignorant in a certain ways. Like, I get stuck in my ways. Like, I swear I'm an old man in a younger man's body because I get set in my ways, sonny, and like I can't be bothered to change. I can't be bothered to learn anything new. Like, it's just who I am. But I've always wanted to do something like that. It's just like the logistics of it. It's like how do you actually do that? Like. Everyone always does that. Hey, special event when I'm playing myself. It's like, do I have to invite you all to my friend list? And how do I do that? How do I choose out of 31,000 of you who gets to whose friends requests I accept and who don't? And then do I delete you all afterwards? Like, what's the actual logistics of that? How do you actually go about doing that sort of thing? Because I mean, that's the only reason I've never done it before. It's just because other than time constraints, I'm just like. I don't know, and I can't be bothered to find out. But no, like, if I ever hit 100,000 subscribers, then yeah, I'd love to do something like that. That'd be fantastic. I think, especially if you guys are still around by 100,000 subscribers, then like, I feel like I deserve to do that for you. Because you've been watching my videos for a hell of a long time. And by this point, I mean, let's face it, I don't know you guys personally, and I suppose you know a fair bit about me. Nothing too personal, but we've known each other for a long time, so... I feel like I'd need to do it, but yeah, so yeah, probably. But the odds are I'd probably do it way before 100,000 subscribers. I'm not a big milestone guy. Like normally I hit it and like, I'll hit like 30,000 subscribers or 20,000 subscribers, and I'll just walk in and high five Kaylee, and that'd be pretty much done. I don't know. I've never really been one of those people to have like a whole song and dance and party about it, but something like 100,000, it'd be a must. I'd have to. Anyway, MC Knight said, "Hey Dave, remember me? My question is, would you rather see Hulk and Juggernaut have a thumb wrestle, or see Batman play Cluedo with Sherlock Holmes?" Like, my gut is saying to go with Hulk and Juggernaut have a thumb wrestle, but I think, actually, Batman playing Cluedo with Sherlock Holmes, I think would be really more interesting. Like, if you actually think about it, like, Hulk and Juggernaut having a thumb wrestle, it would be fun. He'd be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare a thumb war. Oh, Hulk smash! And then Juggernaut would be like, I'm unstoppable. And their thumbs are just like this rapid battle back and forth. But Batman and Sherlock Holmes playing Cluedo, like, you could sit there and it'd be so fascinating to watch. Like, both of them, like, the world's greatest detectives. So they'd have such, like, foresight, all both trying to be 10 steps ahead of the other one. So you'd be watching them and you're thinking, why has he made that move? Because you know he's made that move for a reason. You know that he's made that move because 10 steps down the line he wants to try and trap him in this sort of situation. So it'd be really cool to watch. And then not only to see who would actually win out of the two of them, but then afterwards you can sit there and be like, how did you know that? Why did you do it that way? I think it would be really interesting to watch that. I mean, let's face it, the thumb wrestle would be fun, but for all of about 5 seconds, because I think that's how long it would last. Plus, when you think about it as well, like, if you think about it, like, the angrier Hulk gets, the stronger he gets as well. If he's losing at the thumb war, and then suddenly he smashes his thumb down on the Juggernaut, like, the impact it could cause could shatter windows everywhere. So. But no, Batman and Sherlock Holmes playing Cluedo, I think that'll be that'd be very interesting. So, Lucas, I can never pronounce your last name, said, other than Spider-Man, who is your favourite superhero? You see, that's the thing. Like, I always have real trouble picking my favourites of anything. Like, the fact that if I can say, like, Mass Effect's my favourite game, Spider-Man's my favourite superhero, Bare Naked Ladies is my favourite band, then that must go to show how much I really love them. Because I can never pick favourites, because my personalities and my thoughts change all the time. Like, one day I could love country music, and then the next I want to listen to some 90s gangster rap. So, like, my mood changes quite a lot. And I feel that's why I find it hard narrowing down a favourite. So other than Spider-Man, I wouldn't really say I have a favourite. I just have those that I like. So I'd say, other than Spider-Man, Iceman, Cyclops, Human Torch, The Thing. Yeah. There's probably plenty of others that I'm forgetting, but off the top of my head, those 4 are pretty cool. I like them. I flip-flop around with who I like. But no, like, if I ever say something's my favourite, then it must go to show how much I really love it. If I can actually say, like, this one thing is my favourite. But, oh man, right, okay. I am going to butcher your name, and I can only apologise. But, Kobite Akuba? I hope I said that right. Kobite Akuba? I probably didn't. I mean, I really doubt I got it right, but I hope I did. Said, Hey Dave, what do you think about who would really win, either Hulk versus Superman or Juggernaut versus Thing? So Hulk versus Superman. I'm thinking, bearing in mind I obviously don't have too much DC knowledge, I'm thinking Superman. Because like the Hulk gets angrier, like gets stronger the angrier he gets. So like he's already really, really strong. But then the longer the fight goes on and the angrier Hulk gets, he's gonna get stronger and stronger and stronger. Superman is already where Hulk is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Superman starts there. I think. I could be completely wrong. But I think he is already that strong. So whereas Hulk would get stronger as he gets angrier, Superman would come down and end the fight before he even has a chance. He would literally just pummel him into the floor. Kind of like Age of Ultron, when Iron Man was in like the big Hulkbuster armor, and he's got Hulk down, he's like, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. It'd be like, imagine like Superman would just be like that until Hulk's knocked out. So I could be wrong, but I'm feeling Superman for this one. I feel like he would destroy Hulk before Hulk has a chance to get angry enough. Juggernaut and Thing. Now, I think this is a fight that's already happened. I know Thing and Juggernaut squared off in Avengers vs. X-Men. However, that was Colossus as Juggernaut. So, because the thing is, Juggernaut, like, Thing's strong. Like, he's a massive rock monster. He's basically like a boulder. So, Thing's strong, but Juggernaut is unstoppable. And it isn't just his strength alone. He's got the power of the, Kayak-Tarok or something. Let me have a look at this. Juggernaut, power, crystal. Let's have a look. My phone is ringing at a really inappropriate time. The Crimson Gem of Cyttorak. So yeah, like he's got this Crimson Gem of Cyttorak. So that's the thing that powers him up. That's the thing that gives him his ability. So Thing is strong. He's got like a base strength. But I just feel like Juggernaut might have the upper hand on Thing, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think it goes like two ways. Like I think if it was a straight up brawl between the two of them, Juggernaut on power would win, because once he gets going, he's unstoppable. Yet, even though Thing isn't known to be the smartest guy, I think like he would still be able to outsmart Juggernaut. Because if it's Kane Marco as Juggernaut, I think Thing could probably outsmart him. If it's Colossus as Juggernaut, then I'm giving it to Juggernaut. However, if Thing has the rest of the Fantastic Four, then I'm giving it back to Thing. So I think it depends. If it's a one-on-one fight, Kane Marco Juggernaut versus Thing, it's going to a Thing. If it's Colossus Juggernaut against Thing, I'm going with Juggernaut. Lit Wilson said, I like this Avengers movie, one of the best Marvel movies, but doesn't beat Winter Soldier for me. Yeah, so that's when it comes down to, that's the thing. It's like, everyone's entitled to their opinion. So, personally, I feel like Age of Ultron just took the biscuit, but Winter Soldier was still a very, very good movie. I'd say probably top 3 Marvel movies Winter Soldier would land for me, so. Oh no, I don't know, top 3, top 5, I don't know, somewhere around there. Xavier Franklin said, do you think they will ever get to the different... do you think they'll ever get to the different Avengers team, like the West Coast Avengers or Uncanny Avengers in the MCU? If you haven't heard of Vampires in the Marvel Universe, then you must not have read any of the supernatural sides of the Marvel, like the Howling Commandos or the Midnight Suns. No, I haven't read anything supernatural in the Marvel Universe. Like, as I say, the only time I've ever really seen vampires come into the Marvel Universe was that one story with the X-Men where was it Jubilee became a vampire, and also in the 90s Spider-Man cartoon with Morbius and Blade. I mean, other than that, no, I've never... It's not because I'm sitting there like, I don't want to read this. It's just because the main continuity, like the main big storylines, they never really deal with the supernatural too much. They deal with like magic, with like Stephen Strange and stuff like that, but they've never really like gone into the supernatural side of things too much. So, but no, I mean, if they ever did, I probably might find it quite good. I mean, I like the TV show Supernatural, so but yeah, so. Do you think they'll ever get any different Avengers team, like the West Coast or Uncanny Avengers? Well, Uncanny Avengers, I'm going to say no, because Uncanny Avengers literally became the Uncanny Avengers because it was mutants and humans trying to form like a united front after Avengers vs. X-Men, and obviously the mutants are a Fox product, at least in the cinematic universe anyway. However, I mean, they might do it down the line with Inhumans and make that, because the new run of Inhumans now is called Uncanny Inhumans, so they might make an Uncanny Avengers, because like, Joe, that's a good point actually, that could actually happen, because after Infinity War and all that sort of stuff, we've got the Inhumans, and I think Phase 4, bear in mind we haven't even started Phase 3 yet, but I think Phase 4 is going to be focused heavily on the Inhumans and all these Inhumans cropping up and how the rest of the world's dealing with it. So maybe they might actually have like an Avengers versus X-Men, but they might have Avengers versus Inhumans, and after that have Uncanny Avengers. Could possibly be true, but if so, that would be way down the line. No, we're talking like 10-20 years away, if it's still going by that point. But I don't know, like, I don't think they'll ever have other, like, again, like, I think down the line, like, stuff like West Coast Avengers, possibly down the line, but I've never really heard of them being too big a thing. I mean, I think Squirrel Girl was in, I think, the West Coast Avengers or something like that, and when she became, like, a nanny for Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, she was like, I was in the West Coast Avengers or the East Coast Avengers or something like that. And they were like, who? Like, who are they? Like, we've never heard of them. So I can't imagine them making a film about it. But if they did, it would either be way down the line, or it would be something like, kind of like how we've got the Avengers now, and at the end of Age of Ultron, there was Captain America and these new Avengers. It's like you have the main Avengers team, but whenever they're off doing their own thing, you've got Cap leading, like, Falcon, War Machine, Vision, and Scarlet Witch. Like, they're his new Avengers. However, there still is the overall bigger Avengers team of Cap, Thor, Iron Man, Hulk. So, something like that. But, I mean, if they are actually going to have different Avengers teams, I think it won't be until, like, way down the line. But, anyway, Blast Eye Studios said, do you think Quicksilver... I'm guessing by now everyone's seen Age of Ultron and you know I'm going to talk about it, but just in case, a massive spoiler. So, Blast Eye Studios said, do you think Quicksilver was killed in Avengers Age of Ultron because of Quicksilver in X-Men Days of Future Past, and going to be X-Men Apocalypse? Who do you think will be? Who do you think is a better Quicksilver, Aaron Taylor Johnson, or Evan Peters? Yes, this was something we talked about. I think it was in the third or the fourth Segway City podcast. We talked about this in great detail. I think it might have been the fourth one. But no, I think Aaron Taylor Johnson in Age of Ultron was a far superior Quicksilver. That's not to say that Evan Peters didn't do a good job. I thought he played a very comical kind of Quicksilver. And as an actor, I like Evan Peters. I liked him in Kick-Ass. And yeah, there was another film I saw him in as well, but I forget. But yeah, like, I like him as an actor. I think he did a good job. Like as an actor, he did a good job. But as a portrayal of Quicksilver, like, if you go back and watch the Segway City podcast, I think it was number 4. I literally have a side-by-side picture of Aaron Taylor Johnson as Quicksilver and Evan Peters as Quicksilver. And like, you might like Evan Peters, but when you see him compared to Aaron Taylor Johnson, it's just, I don't know, it must have just had that Marvel touch to it. It just must have had that look, because Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver just looks so much better, and I feel like he acted so much better. There's a thing I've always said when it comes to superheroes. It's like, you can't have a superhero without their alter ego, without their character. Like, you can't have Iron Man unless you didn't have a good Tony Stark. If Robert Downey Jr. didn't create a fantastic Tony Stark, you would not have had a good Iron Man. Like, it's as simple as that. And I think that's the difference. Like, Aaron Taylor Johnson did a fantastic Pietro Maximoff. Not to say Evan Peters did a bad one, but again, like, the actors can only act with what they're given, like with the script they're given. So I just think that Marvel had a better Pietro Maximoff and therefore made a good Quicksilver. I feel like in X-Men Days of Future Past, they did what they have done with quite a lot of the mutants and quite a lot of Fox characters over the X-Men whole legacy, I guess you can call it. And they haven't really flushed them out too much. They're just like, hey, look! A character! You love these characters! And they just throw these characters into a movie. Like, the fact they threw in Quicksilver, and yet then they had Wanda as a baby. And it's like, well, now you cannot use Wanda Maximoff, because she's a child. You just said there she is as a child. Like, I know Age of Apocalypse, I think, is 10 years after Days of Future Past. So, yeah, she could be 10 years old now. So, I suppose possibly in that sense, but I swear they just don't think things through sometimes. And, like, it's 10 years later. So is Evan Peters, are they going to age him? Are they going to make him look like he's 10 years older now? I don't know. I think sometimes they don't think things through, like the whole Fox thing. So, but yeah, it's like in Days of Future Past, like they made. I feel they made Quicksilver too powerful. Like, even though there was that one scene where they're rescuing Magneto, and don't get me wrong, it was a fantastic scene. I think it was one of the best scenes of the whole movie, where he puts on his music and he's just running around the water, like the room that's filling up with water, and he's like pushing bullets around and punching people in the face. And I thought that scene was fantastic. I thought it was really, really cool. However, he runs so fast, it's almost like he's teleporting. And I feel not only does that make his character really overpowered, but it makes a huge plot hole in the film. Like, in the sense that if he was so powerful, why did they send him home to drive Charles' car home when they could have actually just used him to stop the whole crisis? Like, if Quicksilver is that fast, they could have just made him run in, knock out Mystique, knock out a Boulevard Trask, and then just take her home. Done, dusted. Easy as pie. Like, he would be my go-to guy for every mission, if he's that fast. However, in Age of Ultron, he was fast, but he was more of he didn't look like he teleported. He was more of a blur. Like, he was really fast, but you saw him go past just about. So, other than the cinematics of how it actually looked, I felt like he looked better in Age of Ultron. But as I say, in Age of Ultron, it wasn't Quicksilver, it was Pietro Maximoff who was Quicksilver. Whereas in Days of Future Past, it wasn't Pietro Maximoff. Well, it was, but it was Quicksilver. Like, this is Quicksilver right here. They didn't really flush out his character. It was just all about his ability. So, I don't know. And when it comes down to it, it's always just personal preference for this sort of thing. But I personally think that Age of Ultron's Quicksilver was just far, far, far better. Far, far, far better. I just thought it was really cool. But anyway, so next question we have Ian Raphael, who said, "What were your thoughts on Age of Ultron, and what's your favourite Spider-Man moment and movie, and why?" Well, I've already given my thoughts on Age of Ultron, and as I say, if you want much more detail on that, check out Segway City. We talk about movie stuff in so much detail, and we drop a lot of like new news as well. So check out Segway City if you want to know that sort of stuff. But what's my favourite Spider-Man moment? So my Spider-Man moment, movie, and why? So when you say like Spider-Man moment and movie, is that my favourite moment within a movie, or just my favourite moment out of everything? So, for my favourite Spider-Man moment, I'm just going to pick a favourite Spider-Man moment. And that could be within the comics, within the movies, within games, anything at all. So, favourite moment... man, there's too many to pick from. And when you put on the spot like this, it's really hard to actually think of like an answer. But, his favourite moment, I'm going to say, is not actually like one particular thing I can think of. It's just a general situation he finds himself in. And I'd say my favourite Spider-Man moment would just be the comical situations he finds himself in. It's like, yes, Spider-Man has a lot of sad moments. He goes through a lot of heartache. There are a lot of really big, dramatic, heart-driven moments. However, some of my favourites are just the comical and ridiculous situations he finds him in. Like for example, I'm just trying to think of one on the top of my head. Like, there's this one bit, and I haven't actually read it. I just saw the page, the panel was posted online. But he's fighting someone, and the whole time he's talking on his Bluetooth, and the enemy he's against is getting really angry. Like, he's going on this monologue, like, "I am the destructor of so-and-so, and I will kill you," blah, blah, blah. And Spider-Man's like, yeah, just get two bags of eggs. And he's like, "Are you even listening to me?" And, like, he webs him in the face. And he's just like, no, it's just traffic, And it's just so funny. Like, these enemies get so angry, and Spider-Man the whole time is, like, not even paying attention. He's just on his Bluetooth. And then there's another one, like when Peter Parker is finally back in Spider-Man's body, like in the new run of Amazing Spider-Man. And the first enemy he goes against is an enemy who can control like fabric. And because it's Spider-Man, instantly unweaves his spider suit, so he has to web at his crutch to basically create like a nappy, like a diaper, so he's not nude and fighting in front of everyone. And at this point, Captain America and Spider-Woman are looking on a screen, like watching him fight. And Captain America's skeptical. He's like, "How do we know this is Peter Parker? How do we know this isn't still Dr. Octopus inside his body?" And then his clothes get torn off his body, and Spider-Woman's like, "There is no way that could happen to anyone else but Peter Parker." And it's like, stuff like that. It's just, that is what Spider-Man is, and I think that's one of the reasons why like many people around the world relate to him so much. Because yes, he is very smart, and yes, he has superpowers, and yes, to a certain extent, he is quite good looking, and because of his spider powers, he has a decent body. Blah 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 blah. But he is still, despite all that, your average Joe. Like, he messes up consistently. He is always putting his foot in his mouth. He, despite all this stuff, and despite like storylines he's put in, something quite often strikes out with women quite a lot. And he's just like, he has this luck that just couldn't happen to anyone but him. And it's just, that's like where the whole Dave luck thing comes from. It's just like, it's just fantastic. So they're my favourite Spider-Man moments. Just moments like that where you're just sitting there and you just feel like you're elate. Just like, oh man, like, it's just so funny. But, favourite Spider-Man movie? It's gonna be one of the Amazing Spider-Mans. Probably the first one. Like, I didn't understand why nobody liked the second one. I liked the second Spider-Man movie. I thought it was really cool. But, probably the first one. Because I'm not a huge fan of the first movie in superhero films. Because, as I say, I feel like a lot of it is just building up the character. But if I actually think back to the movie and everything that happened, and I don't know, I think the first movie just had this feel to it that I really enjoyed. So, yeah, if I had to pick the first movie, but... Okay, so moving on, we have got quite a bit of a rant coming up here. So let me drink a little bit of water. Let me prepare myself for this. Rightio. Next up, we have Monty Pig of the Doodle Clan, and this is not only in bold, but it's all in caps lock as well. So normally I shout stuff in caps lock, but honestly, I don't want to destroy my throat. So here we go. Story time from Monty Pig of the Doodle Clan. No, Dave, no! The New 52 sucks. It's like taking all the Marvel characters and killing them off with a good storyline. New 52 is like a Marvel reboot with undeveloped Avengers. The old characters have character. They have years of chemistry with each other. The New 52 just has people in Batman suits and killing off classic characters. For anyone that reads DC, Terry McGinnis is dead thanks to the New 52. That's like Marvel killing off 2099 Spider-Man and a Spider-Man sidekick like Scarlet or Silk or whatever her name was, becoming the 2099 Spider-Man. Jim Gordon is going to be Batman thanks to the New 52. That's like Captain America dying and Agent Coulson becoming Cap. It's rumoured that they are now going to kill Richard Grayson, the original Robin. Thank you, New 52. The writer for the New 52 needs to be fired and banned from DC. Go check out Nightwing01 on YouTube, go to his playlist, click on Arkham Wednesdays, then go to Nightwing's Plays. Go to playlist and click on the Lego Batman 3 lore and gameplay. You will learn everything you have ever wanted about DC and comics. He inspired me to write comics and stories. Please take into account what I'm saying. The New 52 is a disgrace to comics just because they have a good arc here and a good arc there doesn't make them a good comic universe. Sorry for raging, but it is the truth. Thank your lucky stars that you're a Marvel guy, Captain Dave. Thank your lucky stars. So. That is, that's Monty Pig of the Doodle Clan's thoughts on the New 52. So, I think this is because about 2 weeks ago I was saying that if you want to get into DC, start with the New 52. And that wasn't me saying the New 52 is a great place to start because it's got really cool stories. That is just because I know they rebooted the whole continuity. So, if you wanted a starting point to go forwards with all the new stuff, the New 52 is a good place to start. However, I'm not a DC reader. Monty Pig of the Doodle Clan is a DC reader and clearly is not a fan of the New 52. So if you want an honest opinion of what the New 52 is like, go rewind that rant that I just read out, and that's a fan of DC's thoughts on New 52. However, everyone is entitled to their opinions. Whereas Monty Pig may hate the New 52, other people might absolutely love the New 52. So take it with a grain of salt. Or you might fully agree with it. I don't know. But, yeah. What I said was like New 52 is a good point to start if you want to start reading comics and not be bogged down by all this history that you don't know about. But, well, yeah, there you go. As Thomas Jackson replied to Monty Pig, New 52 is the best, but everyone gets their opinion. So, I mean, that's fair enough. Like, some people love the New 52, like Thomas Jackson. Other people like Monty Pig hate it. So, the only real way is to find out and read yourself. And that's what I always say with Marvel. Just, like, sign up to Marvel Unlimited, like the digital thing, and just read. It's the best way to find out. Just jump in. But, yeah. Form your own opinions. That's the good way to go. But Carl Portella 13 said, "Hey Dave, how's it going? So I am your favourite subscriber ever because I hate Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Am I on your friends list? You are my favourite YouTuber. Keep up the great work." Thank you very much, Carl. So you're my favourite subscriber because you hate Spider-Man Web of Shadows. No, it's just nice to hear because everyone always says to me about how great a game that is and how much they love it, and I feel like I was the only one in the world that hated that game. Like, I still haven't completed it, so the game itself was... The story, I've always said the story looks really cool. It's just the animation, the voice acting, the character models. I just hate all that. Mainly the voice acting, but... But no, it's just nice to know there's somebody else out there who dislikes it as well. But Colton Rowe, that's a new name I've never seen a Colton Rowe around here. Whether you're new or whether this is the first time you've commented on here, or maybe I'm just dumb and you've commented a few times. But hello Colton Rowe. It's nice, good to have you aboard. But hello Captain, I've been a fan of yours ever since your first Mass Effect walkthrough, and I've loved every second since. Which would be better, having Spider-Man powers or having Grunt as a squad mate in real life? See, like, questions like this, I'm going to go with Spider-Man's powers. And I feel like I'm always picking Spider-Man in these things, but the reason is just because I love Spider-Man. Like, as he's my favourite thing. Like, I love Grunt, but Spider-Man is my favourite superhero. He's sounds silly, but he's like a role model. I mean, there's a reason I have Spider-Man tattooed on my arm. It's because it sounds silly, but Spider-Man, or more importantly Peter Parker, even though he's a fictitious character, he is a role model. There's nobody in real life that I think is that good and that heroic that I want to model my life around them. And that's not to say, like, I'm going to dress up in a Spider-Man costume and go swinging around the very small buildings where I live. But but no, it's like, so something like that, I'm always going to pick Spider-Man. So the only way for me to not pick Spider-Man is not put Spider-Man in the equation. But I mean, if you actually think about it, like, having Grunt as a squad mate would be cool for all of about, like, 5 seconds, and then it would just be havoc. It would be like mayhem in the streets. Grunt would be headbutting everything, he'd be shooting everyone, just all you'd hear is just like this destruction and chaos, people screaming, cars blowing up, and then just a faint here as Grunt is just running down the road. Shepherd! It just it'd be mayhem, it'd be pandemonium in the streets. Just I don't think my cat would like it very much either. But no, Spider-Man powers, that'd be awesome. I'd love that. That'd be fantastic. But also, I live in the good old USA. Start that again. Also, I live in the good old USA. America, just in case you didn't figure that out. Oh, come on now, man. I know I say some stupid things sometimes, but I know USA is America. Come on, I'm not that dense. My family is taking a trip to London soon. You've mentioned you've been there a few times, and I was wondering if you have any advice for a clueless American. Anyway, thanks in advance. Just in case you're wondering, I posted this last week as well, but never got a response. Hopefully second time's the charm, eh? Yeah, so there you go. That's exactly the sort of thing I'm talking about YouTube. Like, I had no idea you posted last week. If I had, I would have read out your question. So, yeah, so see, there you go. This is perfect example. If I don't read out your question, just post it again like Colton Rowe did, and I'll answer it next time, hopefully, as long as YouTube isn't evil and isn't purposely vindictive against you. I should be able to read it out next time. But yeah, so any advice if you're going to London? I don't know, really. Yeah, I don't really. There probably isn't really any advice. I mean, let's face, as far as at least in the places I've been to London, it's just like a city. You know, there's nothing I can think like, oh, you don't want to do this, or you're gonna get stabbed, or you don't want to do this, as the Hulk will crush you. Or no. I can't really think of no do's and don'ts. Just the same sort of stuff, really, as you do in any other country. But as I say, I only really go there for work, and as soon as I'm done with work, I go straight home again. So I wouldn't really know. But I don't know. Bit of advice might sound stupid, but in England, we drive on the other side of the road. So when you cross the road, look right instead of left. So there we go. It's probably not the best advice in the world, but no, London's just like every other big city around the world, except for we speak English instead of American or Chinese or Indian or whatever. So, boom. The General of Fire said, last comment. Oh, I didn't realise there were other comments. See, that's the thing. Maybe the General Fire has left other comments, and I don't know about them. He's saying last comments. That makes me think there was others left, and they aren't on this list. But hey-ho. Last comment, probably. If you had to pick up one universe to live while the other if you had to pick up one universe to live while the other live, Mass Effect universe or Marvel Cinematic Universe, which one will die so the other will live? Alright, so if I had to pick either the Mass Effect universe or the Marvel Cinematic Universe to live, and the other will die, and I have to live in that universe, what would I live? Which one would I choose? I think I'll go with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because, I mean, like, I love the Mass Effect universe, playing it, but I'm claustrophobic, and I'm not really a huge fan of big open water. And when you think of pretty much space is like just a gigantic open water, really, I would be stuck in a small metallic object with no escape, surrounded by nothing. I get the feeling I wouldn't like that very much. Like, in a game, it's really awesome. I love playing Mass Effect. I love the whole universe. But I don't think I'd do very well in a spaceship. However, walking down the street, Spider-Man swings over my head. Hell yes. That would be awesome. I would love that. And a slight chance you may get superpowers yourself. I mean, there is that. I could be a mutant in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I could be an Inhuman, and the Terrigen Mist gets opened upon me. Hell, I might just be hit by some rogue meteorite which bestows me with the powers of the ancient civilization of blah blah blah. Right, and I'll be Captain blah blah blah, and I will shoot people with my blah rays. Like, it'd be cool. I mean, there's also a great chance I could die, because let's face it, there's a lot of collateral damage in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but no, I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I wouldn't want either to die, but if I had to choose Marvel, superheroes, all that sort of stuff, it'd be awesome. Do you like my new pick? Also, click on my channel and you'll see the banner. You will like it. Alright, let's have a look. Let's have a look-see. So, Commander Shepard. Of course I like that. Commander Shepard's fantastic. So, but yeah, it's very cool. And you look, your picture kind of looks like, it reminds me of Scarecrow, but on fire. So, but that's cool. I like it. Donny Hunt said, "Hey Dave, my question is, are you interested in or will be playing the Dragon Age series?" Yeah, that's something I spoke about, I think, quite a long time ago in the Captain's Quarters. But Dragon Age, the whole trilogy, is something I've been really interested in playing for quite a while. But I want to make sure I have like a huge amount of time to just sit down and just play it. I mean, when I first started playing the Mass Effect trilogy, that was the only game I played, or the only 3 games, I guess, I played for an entire year. From that Christmas till the next Christmas, I didn't play any other games. Unless I was recording it for a walkthrough, didn't play any other games, just Mass Effect for a whole year. So I feel like if I'm gonna play Dragon Age, like the whole series, that's the same sort of thing I'd want to do. I'd want to just get so invested in it that is all I play. So yeah, I definitely plan at some point in my life to be playing that. Whether I do a walkthrough or not, it depends how much I like the game. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in playing. Boom. Next question is the cutest tiger there ever was. Woof woof. That's a weird way to start a sentence. Hey Dave, I am Mission Unstoppable. Oh, right, okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. I was just wondering where Mission Unstoppable went as well. So, alright, fair enough. The Joker came to my house last week and turned me into a big, cute cat, so I changed my name. What do you think of it? Well, it's very fitting, I guess. And it's a very nice picture of a tiger as well, so. Anyway, if you had to combine your most favourite character and your least favourite character from the Marvel, Mass Effect and DC, one for each one, who would they be? My favourite character and my least favourite. So I'm combining them. So what is it, like powers or personalities or... I don't know, why am I combining them? I suppose really... I was trying to think like, oh, who would it be? But if it's my favourite and my least favourite character, then I'm not really like thinking who would be a good combination. I'm just picking who I like the most and who I hate the most. So for Marvel, it'd probably be Spider-Man and, I don't know, Elektra. I don't know. I'm planning on reading Daredevil, so I might change my opinion on Elektra, but I still dislike her. Just, I don't know. I don't really know anything about her, but just the thought of her, I just think, man, I'm a huge fan. So yeah, for Marvel, Spider-Man and Elektra. Mass Effect would be Grunt, and I was going to say the Elusive Man, but no, he's just evil. I actually really like the Elusive Man, so probably like the reporter, Angelina Gelante, or whatever her name was, or Kai Lang. Like probably Grunt and the reporter, or Grunt and Kai Lang, one of those combinations. And DC, I don't really know many DC, so The Flash for my favourite, and Aaron Cash for my least favourite. There we go. Fastest man alive! Fastest man alive! Oh, I got caught! Fastest person to get caught in history, like. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah. Spider-Man and Elektra, Grunt and the Reporter, or Grunt and Kai Lang, and Flash and Aaron Cash. Why they're combined, I don't know. It's the question I was given. It was the hand I was dealt, so. More questions from the cutest tiger there ever was. Oh, of course, yeah, you send me those, present those questions and then you answer them next week, don't you? So anyway, the answer to last week's question is Bobo the chimpanzee, detective chimp, crime-solving monkey. Wow, I can already see where this is going. Now you may be asking yourself, how did a chimp get his crime-fighting abilities? To which I reply, from a dog with crime-fighting abilities. Yeah, of course, like, because that makes sense. At first, Bobo started out in a circus where he was trained to answer questions to make it look like he was solving mysteries. Then one day, Rex the Wonder Dog took him to the Fountain of Youth, which granted him eternal life, but also the ability to speak to all living creatures because reasons. Because why not? Like, does there need to be a reason? He assists Batman with his cases through a private chat room where they swap theories. Now, I know most of you disregard superheroes as pure fiction, but from today, get ready to be amazed as we introduce to you real-life people with superpowers. Get ready for Lewis Gordon Pooh? Please tell me that's pronounced Pooh. Get ready for Lewis Gordon Pooh, the real-life Iceman. He has a condition called anticipatory thermogenesis, the only person in the world with this condition, which allows him to raise his core temperature, which gives him almost pure immunity to freezing cold temperatures. He can swim in the North Pole in his underwear for 30 minutes, while a normal person would dive in 3 minutes. Oh, that's pretty cool. The only problem when people have these like really rare conditions is normally there's a downside. Like, yes, he may be able to, he might be able to swim in, freezing cold temperatures and stuff like that, but then there's also a very good chance that he might then have a really bad reaction to heat. Like, room temperature could be boiling to him. I can imagine that in real life, there's always a downside, and I can imagine, if he can survive really cold, then he probably does do well in heat. But, I mean, I could be completely wrong, but, yeah, you said, you may be asking yourself, how did the chimp get crime-fighting abilities? The only thing I was asking myself was, I'm pretty certain you said it began with a D and ended with a P. And that begins with a B and ends with an O. So, unless it was a detective chimp, DP, that kind of works. But, anyway, yeah. That was a weird one. You went on to say, also, if you want to read The Flash, you might find this interesting. Flash is known to fight a telepathic genius gorilla called Gorilla Grodd, or Gorilla Grodd. Oh yeah, I've actually heard about him. Staying true to these weird but interesting characters comes Dexter, the cat serial killer. He was a household cat until one day, to be continued. P.S. Your cat should meet him. No, my cat should not meet him. My cat should not meet him at all. My parents' cat pushed me off a balcony once. Swear to God, the truth. Maybe a story for another day. That would be that. Story for another day. But no, yeah, the cat serial killer. No, they should definitely not meet. That's the last thing that cat needs. He already is a bane to my existence. But yeah, so I mean, you got Bobo the chimpanzee. You've got what was it, Rex the Wonder Dog, and now Dexter the cat serial. We've got quite a little Animal Justice League going on here. But last comment from the cutest tiger was, sorry for the long and numerous comments every time, but I can't help it. Anyway, who do you think did the most justice to the character and heroic personality in the MCU? Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man or Chris Evans as Cap? P.S. Yes, that was intended to be hard. Yeah, it's quite a tricky one. I think there's two ways of looking at it. Because, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, you could ask anyone. They couldn't have picked anyone better for the role. He's fantastic as Iron Man. And I think, bear in mind, Iron Man was the one that kicked off this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. You could almost go to say, if Robert Downey Jr. didn't do as good a job as he did as Iron Man, then it could easily be argued that we wouldn't have everything we have now. If that first film wasn't a success, they wouldn't have went through and made all the others. They would have just thought, okay, we tried, it sucked. it's over. Like, so you could almost say, like doing justice to a character, you can say Robert Downey Jr. literally, he has to be the answer because he's the reason we have all this. If he had sucked as Tony Stark and Iron Man, then it wouldn't have moved forward. So, and Robert Downey Jr., that's the thing, like, Robert Downey Jr. has done the character of Tony Stark so well, he's actually doing it better than the comics. And that's to say, because Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark is very different from how Tony Stark actually is in the Marvel, like the comics version of Iron Man. He's very serious. He makes like snarky comments and stuff like that in the comics, but he's most of the part he's very serious. And it wasn't really until Civil War that we really got an in-depth look at Tony Stark's personality and how he started thoughts and feelings on things. Like, there was past storylines like Demon in the Bottle and Armor Wars and stuff like that, where we get a glimpse at Tony Stark's actual personality. But for the most part, even in like the Avengers comics and stuff, he was, I think the expression used by I think it was one critic or one writer or something was he is as bland. No, not as bland. He is as his personality is as like, I can't remember what it was. I honestly can't remember. But basically, they were saying that Tony Stark is like his armor. Like, he is just that clear cut, just like that's him. There's nothing to him. And it was really when Civil War came out that it really showed a depth through his character. Like, he had this whole internal mental struggle. Like, is what he's doing is right? Like, is he on the right side of this? And I think that's kind of what made Iron Man's character a lot better. But Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, he's far, far, far better. Like, they're doing a superior Iron Man run now, where I think it could almost be argued that they are changing Tony Stark's character to match Robert Downey Jr.'s version of it. I think that could easily be argued. So yeah, I mean, definitely Robert Downey Jr. has done a really great job as Iron Man. But if you're saying which one of them does, so if you're saying who does most justice to the character, Robert Downey Jr., like almost to the point where he's better than the comics Tony Stark. But heroic personality, it's got to be Chris Evans as Cap. There's that one scene from Age of Ultron when Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man is like, what if all the armies, the aliens, they come again? How are we going to stop them? And Captain America's like, together. And Iron Man goes, we're going to lose. And Cap goes, well, then we'll do that together too. And it's just like, I think Chris Evans does a really good job of just doing that. There are no buts about it. Like, we do the right thing. There's no necessary evil. There's no killing one to save the 50. It's like, we save 51. Like, at the end as well, they were saying about maybe they have to destroy that floating island to save the rest of the world. And Cap was like, I'm not leaving people on this island. Like, they either all get off or nobody gets off. So I think, like, Chris Evans does a better job of the heroic personality, but Robert Downey Jr. just does so much justice for the character. So I think, yeah, it's kind of split, really. But the 11th Doctor said, can you play GTA 5 on PCs? No. And I've got GTA 5 on Xbox. It was a really fun game, but I just don't play PC that much. I mean, even the Walking Dead walkthrough I switched from PC to Xbox. And in fairness, Telltale games play so much better on PC. So much better. It was only because I didn't have the recording software for my PC anymore, so that's the main reason I moved it. But I don't know, I'm just not a fan of playing on PC. I just like, I know people call it being a filthy console player, or a filthy casual, but I'm happy being a console casual player. I just like putting in the disc and just playing. I hate the whole having to set up and this, and do I have the memory, and do I have the space, and do I have a graphics card? I can't be bothered with all that. Like, I know it is cool, and I know it's like when you actually see someone playing, it is so much better, and it looks better, and you can do so much more, but I can't be bothered with all that. I said it earlier, I'm stuck in my ways, I'm an old man, and like, I just want to put in the disc and play, so maybe down the line at some point, like someone's, like, I think it was Yusuf Yassir said about like having 100,000 subscriber, like play thing, like that I'd probably do something like GTA, but I really doubt it'd be on PC. The 11th Doctor also said, do you play Minecraft? I do not play Minecraft. I used to play it when it was in its alpha stage. And in actual fact, I think I still have it on my PC, and I think it is still the alpha version. Like, day, night time, skeletons, spiders, and zombies. That's it. Like, I think that's as far as my game got. Like, I never upgraded. I never got the beta. I never got the main version. So, like, all these Netherworlds and Enderman or dragons or all this other stuff I hear about that's coming along. Like, I never had that. There was this podcast I used to listen to, and I used to, once a week, when I listened to this podcast, I'd play Minecraft for about an hour and a half, just so I had something to do while listening to the podcast. And then as soon as the podcast ended, I'd close it down and I wouldn't touch it again until next week. And then eventually when I stopped listening to the podcast, that's when I stopped playing Minecraft. So, yeah, it's not to say it's a bad game. I mean, there's a reason why it's done so extremely well. It's because it is a really fun, good game. And I think it's a good game that really brings people together in, like, friendship groups as well. So, and it makes you use your mind. It's like, look, here's a blank canvas, just go out and do what you're going to do. So I think that's another reason why it's so cool, because it literally just gets people to say, look, just use your own imagination and build something. So, but no, I'm just not really interested, to be honest. So, anyway, John Hawk, another new name, another person I do not recognise. So, hello, John Hawk. John Hawk has a few questions, so let's do these one at a time. Okay, Dave, after seeing some of your videos, it's time for questions. Number 1, if someone got permission from BioWare to make the Mass Effect trilogy into a movie trilogy, what would you think? Also, ask Tommy about this. Okay, well, I'll float this, if I remember, I'll float this this idea in the next Segway City podcast. But, yeah, if they were to make Mass Effect trilogy into a movie trilogy, that would be, like, my dream. I would love that. I would absolutely love it. Apparently, the idea to make a Mass Effect movie has been in the works for a long, long, long time. They just can't get, like, a producer and a director and a script, and they can't get, like a production company, like, to actually sign off or to stay around for too long. Like someone comes up with a script and they can't get a production company, and then they get a company that's like, yeah, let's make this movie, and then they just can't get a good script, and there's a whole lot of different things. So I think, like, someone said about making the whole trilogy in one movie, and I'm like, that's impossible. You would never be able to do it justice like that. That's like, yeah, it's like trying to do all the Lord of the Rings in one movie. It's impossible. So, but no, if they made a Mass Effect trilogy, like, as a movie franchise, oh, man, I would love that. That would be just my dream movie. Like, other than all the Marvel stuff, outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that would just be my dream movie franchise. That would be like my version of Lord of the Rings, you know? That would just be, it'd just be so cool. In Skyrim, could you combine the Hagraven feathers and the Wisp core together? Yeah. Like, when it comes to ingredients in Skyrim, you can combine anything together. As far as I know, anyway. As I say, I'm not really an alchemist, so I wouldn't really know. But as far as I know, I think you can combine everything. Whether it makes a potion or not, probably, I don't know, maybe. Probably unlikely, in fact. But, yeah, the best way to know if it's going to make a potion together is, I think, every object, like, ingredient you can eat or taste. And then some of it might hurt you, so it depends what you eat. But then you always understand one property it has. Like, it can make a health potion, it can use magic potion, it can be strength potion. So then that way, if you find two ingredients that have the same property and put them together, then you'll get a potion. Or you can just randomly throw two together and hope for the best. So, but yeah, I mean, if in doubt, the only way to find out is, the only way to do it is to find out. Just mix them together, see what you get. I mean, you could cheat and look online, but where's the fun in that? Like, just throw them together, see what happens. Throw caution to the wind. Look down the barrel in the gun. Pee in the wind. But, the first time you played Mass Effect 3, did you cry when they showed Thane die? I didn't cry, but I definitely had like an emotional response. But that's because I'm a bit of a robot. Like, I don't really cry that much, but I definitely felt it. I definitely felt sad. Like, I felt it inside. Like, I was just like, man, that sucks. Like, I think afterwards I just stood outside the door for a little bit, and I ran up to the window to see if I could look in to see if he was still there, and I saw Kolyak just standing there, and I was like, oh man. That was the same when Morden died as well. Like, I didn't cry, but I definitely felt it. Definitely felt it. It was it's one of those moments that, you know, when a game's done justice, when they make a character, not only love a character that much, but you actually have like an emotional response when they leave. So I think, yeah, definitely felt it when Thane died. Definitely felt it when Morden died as well, but didn't actually shed any tears. But what do you think is the reason that you have a sum total of 0 haters on your videos? Captain and General of Fire are trolls, not haters. I think it is because you put a lot of time in and don't swear every third word. Yeah, well, thank you very much for saying that. And yes, Captain and General of Fire, they're not trolls, they're not haters, they're not everything. Like, it's just a little bit of joking back and forth. Like, I know they do it out of love. So, I know completely that it's not a bad thing, the stuff they do. It's all in good fun. But, no, like, the reason I don't have any haters on my videos, I don't know, I think I'm just very, very lucky. And I think also, and like, let's face it, like, regardless of me, this comes down to you guys. Like, you guys, like, could just quite easily just go, Dave, your face reveal was stupid, you look like a troll. Like, you guys could be really cruel, but you're not. Like, you guys I have just been so lucky. Bear in mind, I've been doing this for nearly 5 years now. I've been very lucky. I have had to ban very, very few people. Very few people. I think I can count on one hand the amount of people I've had to ban. So, and as I say, like, yes, it could be because I don't swear, and I do put an insane amount of time into my videos. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, I mean, it comes down to you guys. Like, you guys like the stuff that I'm creating, and as I've said to you guys when you ask about making your own channels, I always say do what you love because it will show in your videos. And as you said there, I put a lot of time in my videos, so it must show. It must show that I really love the game that I'm playing. I'm loving what I'm doing at that particular time, especially with stuff like Skyrim. It's not normally what I do, but you can tell that I'm loving that walkthrough right now. But the intro, the previously, the spending so much time just talking to random characters, like I'm loving it. So I know I'm really grateful that I don't have like a whole bunch of douchebags out there that are just writing horrible stuff. But no, reasons, I don't know. I think probably, as you said, the stuff you said. I used to swear when I first started quite a lot, and someone pointed it out, and I remember thinking to myself, like, yeah, that's a really good point, actually. Like, I listened back to my own video, and even I was a bit like, oh man, like, that's actually kind of hard to listen to. So, yeah, I think the swearing's a big thing, but I think at the end of the day, it's just like, if you're enjoying what you're playing, then it shows, and I think that's probably why so many of you guys are just so awesome. And like stuff like this as well, I think this also helps. Like the fact I'm sitting here chatting to you guys, it's kind of cool. But no, I love it. I love it. I just love sitting there hanging out with you guys, and I'm glad that you guys are also cool. Like there are loads of you who just watch the videos and don't ever comment, and that is perfectly fine as well. Like that's what you come here for. You come here to watch videos. You've come here to be entertained. Like, but then for those of you who want to chat, who want to talk and stuff like this is awesome. Let's face it, like we all are enjoying these videos. I mean, it might sound really sad, but I enjoy my own videos because every time I'm editing, I have to watch through everything I've just recorded to edit it, to like edit out the coughs and the sneezes and the sniffs, and if I accidentally talk over a character, I edit it out or move it forwards or something like that. So I have to listen to my own videos, and like I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't find them entertaining myself. So I know that might sound a little bit like egotistical and a bit sad, but I enjoy my own videos, and that means that me and you and everyone else has something in common. So that's why I kind of like sitting here, because like, and not just me and you, and like whoever, like not just like say the General of Fire or the 11th Doctor or the Cutest Tiger, and like not just me and you as individuals, but you guys together as well. You all have something in common. It's the fact you enjoy these videos, and I think that's what's cool. Like, I've always said, like I would love to go to my comment section and to see you guys chatting back and forth. Like, that's why I love it. Like when somebody writes a comment and then somebody else replies back and somebody else, and you just have a conversation about something. That's awesome. I love seeing that. I want to see you guys have a place that you can all talk and chat and hang out. And that's why I set up my Facebook. I wanted you guys to have conversations back and forth, and I would just butt in every now and then. And I just thought it'd be awesome. But yeah, but thank you very much. And number 5 was, there is a YouTube video of Deadpool and Deathstroke battling to the death by death battle. Wow, that's a lot of death in this. Yeah, it was. Could you watch and comment on it? Sorry for so many questions, and keep up the spectacular videos. P.S. Weather Shadows. Oh, damn you. But no, thank you for the nice comments. But there's one Fallout and there's one Weather Shadows. But there's a video of Deadpool and Deathstroke battling. Okay, I'll watch it. I won't watch it now because obviously it'd be boring to sit in here watching my face go as I'm watching it. But yeah, I'll watch it at the end of this, and I'll leave a comment. Probably on your comment here, just to, I don't know. By that point, though, I would have left a comment before you've seen this video. Ooh. A time paradox. But no, I'll watch it and I'll leave a comment. I'm getting a bit of a dry throat. So many comments to go through because I missed the first week. Like, I've got like 2 weeks worth of comments to go through here. But Kyle Ferguson said, "Hey Dave, I have a question. I have a few questions. The questions are, right, number 1, do you think you ever play Last of Us?" I actually did plan on playing Last of Us, and I was watching a walkthrough of it, and I was thinking to myself, man, I really want to do a walkthrough of this game. I thought, this could be really cool. But I left it a little bit of time, because I do that with quite a few games, because sometimes I watch a game or I play a game, and I'm really loving it, but I'm in what's called like the honeymoon period, where there's nothing wrong with it and everything is awesome. Give it a bit of time. If I still want to play that game, then I know I'll be able to stay entertained throughout the whole walkthrough. But if I started that walkthrough straight away and then lost interest in it, and I'm halfway through a walkthrough and I start losing interest, you're going to see that in the videos. And I don't want that to happen. So that's like Skyrim. I mean, I've had that game since 2011. And I thought, if I still love it now, then, even though I've never completed it, if I still love it now, I'm going to be able to survive a whole walkthrough of it. So And that was with The Last of Us. Like, once I'd finished watching the walkthrough and I left it a little bit of time, I wasn't as interested in playing it. But I don't know, maybe one day, maybe like give it like some time, I might be like, I'd really like to give that a go, because I never actually played it, so maybe, probably not anytime soon, but there's a possibility. What villains do you think will be in the Sinister Six movie? Rhino's been rumoured to not be in it. So that's the thing, is like, are they actually making a Sinister Six movie? Because I know they were originally, before the whole Marvel and Sony deal with Spider-Man. So I'm just thinking, will they actually do a Sinister Six movie? Will they like make the first Spider-Man movie and then make a couple of years down the line, make a Sinister Six movie relating to the new Spider-Man? So, if so, I mean, we spoke about this in the newest episode of Segway City, which, as of recording this, went live 20 minutes ago. So, yeah, go over there, because we literally talk about what 4 supervillains Spider-Man supervillains we want to see in the Spider-Man movies. So, yeah, go over and check out the most recent episode of Segway City, and we talk about exactly that, like, what villains we want to see in the Sinister Six movies. But, who I'd like to see in the Sinister Six? Probably the classic, the classic villains, but my pick for a Sinister Six would be, let's think about this, Electro. I'm trying to think, not who's classic Spider-Man villains, but like who's a good Sinister Six group. So I'm going to go Electro, Kraven the Hunter, Dr. Octopus. Do I want Shocker in there? Because every time I think of Shocker, I just think of the Ultimate Universe Shocker. Dr. Octopus, Electro, Kraven the Hunter. I want to put Mysterio in it, but I just don't feel he would hold up to the rest of them. See, Rhino's not supposed to be in it, but I feel like he should be in the Sinister Six. Sandman. One more. Chameleon. Yeah, so that's the End of the Earth. That's the End of the Earth for Sinister Six, that is. So yeah, that'd be my team. Dr. Octopus. Wait, no, Kraven the Hunter wasn't in that one. Who was in that one? I think I actually have it. Oh, there we go. Every time I sit here and I'm like, and I think, and I always say I turn around and you can't see me. Now you can. Now you can see. Let me just get the webcam. If I lift this up, there are all the comics I look at, and that is the poster that I always look at. So every time I always turn around and I'm always like, let me look at my comics. Oh God, this is going to fall over now. I've made it too high now. I'm messing this whole thing up. Right. It's a bit higher than it was before, but it'll do. But yeah, so like, oh man, that's really light. Oh no, I've screwed it up. I spent ages getting this webcam in the right place. No, don't be doing this to me. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, but every time I always say, like, I turn around and I look at my comics and I look at my poster and stuff, and I try and think about characters. That's where I always look. But I think I actually have the Ends of the Earth. Yes, I do. Bear with me one moment. If I drop everything, I can only apologise. Ends of the Earth. Right, let's have a look-see. I'm just glad I was wearing underwear when I stood up. Let's have a look. Who was the Sinister Six in Ends of the Earth? Because that's the Sinister Six I would choose. Oh, it was Mysterio. It wasn't Kraven. So yeah, I think I'll do that. I would do like the Ends of the Earth Sinister Six, except for I'd substitute a Mysterio with Kraven, I feel. Actually, no. Mysterio. So it would be Dr. Octopus, Rhino, Sandman, Electro, Mysterio, and a lot of O's. And, I forgot the last one, I just said it. But yeah, you get it by now, I've gone on this one for far too long. And lastly, if you could cast an actor for 4 of the villains, who would you cast and why? Oh, who would I cast for the villains? Oh, right, okay, fair enough. Below, you've said who you would cast. Okay, so Dr. Octopus, you'd say Jared Harris, because I think he has the look for him. Okay, I don't know who Jared Harris is, so let me just quickly Google this. I should probably just have Google open every time I do this thing. Jared... Oh, no! Oh, no! I hate Jared Harris. I do not like that man. I mean, other than in Fringe, he played a good character for David Robert Jones. But, other than that, everything I've seen of him, I hate him. he just seems to talk like this in all of his movies. And it's just like, it's just, I don't believe him. Like, if that's how he generally talks, then yeah, he's probably a good actor. But it feels like he's so bad he's almost good. Like, that's how I feel when I watch him. Like, there's one bit in a Resident Evil film, and I mean, that might be why he was bad. A Resident Evil Apocalypse. And he's like, don't hurt my daughter. No. I was sitting there, I was just like, really? Like, I know this is a like Resident Evil Apocalypse, but come on, at least try, man. But no, I get what you're saying, though. He does have the Dr. Octopus look to him. I do definitely see that, but I don't know. Just on his voice and acting ability alone, I would hate that. I mean, he might get the Marvel touch and suddenly be brilliant, but I just don't think I could fathom the guy. But no, I see what you mean by like looks. He looks like him. Mysterio. I'm Scottish, so call me biased, but I think David Tennant would be a good Mysterio. He could be. I think he might. That's the thing. Like Mysterio just always has a bowl on his head the whole time. So he has a fishbowl on his head, so it doesn't really matter too much. But no, David Tennant, he does have. I think he could have that look. But Vulture, it has to be John Malkovich. Yeah, someone. I've heard that before. I think it was. It might be you actually in the Segway City in the podcast who said about John Malkovich. But do you know what, actually? Yeah, I've just googled him. I think in the podcast I said that he had a good look, but he was a bit too. I felt as a man he was too tall. He was just too stocky to be the Vulture. But I've just googled him, and I can actually see if he loses a bit of weight, I could see him actually probably playing quite a good Vulture. Because I've always pictured Vulture as this small, old, skinny, sort of decrepit old man. Like, that's how I've always seen Vulture. But no, I think if John Malkovich, like, I could imagine him doing a good job. Craven, you're thinking Hugh Jackman. Yes, I remember this from the podcast, yeah. Like, I think that's because of looks alone. I could see them going for more of like an African Craven. Like, I can't remember his name. Let me IMDb this really quick. There's an actor. He was in Wolverine actually, or Wolverine Origins. And he's been in 24. And I can't remember his name now. I'm gonna quickly Google it while I also vamp and make it look like I'm not stalling for time. His name was. Of course, he's not on the front page because that would make life far too easy for me. What is his name? But yeah, it's like, because it seems like the Marvel Cinematic Universe are doing things a bit differently, like they did when they brought all the characters into the Ultimate Universe. Like, same characters, different backstory, different personality to a certain extent. So I could see them doing the same sort of thing. Man, I can't find this character. That's really irritating. That's really, really irritating. Oh, wait. No, that's Tank Soldier. That's not... Oh, wait, that could be him. I think that's his name. Yes. This is the guy. Hakeem K. Kazim. Like, I think, like, someone like that, it would be a really unique twist on Kraven the Hunter. Because, yeah, it's just like, make him seem like he is that hunter, but he's actually, like, maybe change his ethnicity and actually make him, like, a South African, and he spent his whole life out in I don't know, like, I don't know what, the Serengeti, that could be completely the wrong place, I have no idea. But, yeah, I think, like, something like that, put a twist on Kraven would be quite cool. But, Sandman, you're stuck between Tom Hardy and Roy McCann. Now, Tom Hardy, there's so many better roles Tom Hardy could do, like, say, Wolverine or The Punisher. I think it saved Tom Hardy for those awesome roles, but... Rory McCann, I don't know who this guy is, but he's a Scottish actor. Yeah, you are biased. But yeah, you could play a good Sandman. I always thought that the guy in Spider-Man 3 actually did a good job. I thought he played an okay Sandman. He had that look about him. So, oh, he's from Game of Thrones. Oh, he was the guy in Hot Fuzz as well. Yarp. No, yeah, I can see that. You could play a good Sandman, I feel. Can I explain what is going on with Sony and Andrew Garfield? Is there going to be a Spider-Man 3 with him in it? No. Amazing Spider-Man 3, that's been scrapped. Anything that was initially planned by Sony, like the Sinister Six, apparently an Aunt May movie. See, that shows how far gone Sony were, like, how bad they were getting things. But they were going to make an Aunt May movie. Like, I heard rumours that apparently they were going to make Aunt May, she was actually a spy, and this whole time she was keeping it hidden from Peter, and she worked with Peter's parents. That's apparently rumours I've heard. Like, how awful would that have been? How bad would that have been as a movie? But, no, Spider-Man 3, Sinister Six, These are the original ones that were going to be made. They've been scrapped, so that's not happening now. I actually heard some stories that Andrew Garfield and Sony actually fell out. Like Andrew Garfield didn't turn up for something or something like that. Sony got really angry, and I don't know. But now that obviously Spider-Man's part of Marvel, they've recast it. Most likely going to be Isa Butterfield. So which I think is a really good choice for Spider-Man. But yeah, so basically that's not happening. Like Andrew Garfield, he is no longer Spider-Man. They're in a new direction. They might make a Sinister Six film still, but it's not the same way they were making it before when it was just Sony. Like Sony still has executive control over Spider-Man, but Spider-Man is in the cinematic universe, and Marvel are going to help make a. So basically, it's kind of like Marvel are like, we're going to help you make your Spider-Man franchise, but Spider-Man's got to be in the MCU. That's pretty much the crutch of it. It's like Spider-Man's going to make an appearance in Civil War. How much of an appearance we don't know, but he's going to be in Civil War. We know that. And then there's going to be a Spider-Man film, 2017, and I think basically Marvel is helping to create their film. But when push comes to shove, Sony still has the final say. Like Sony, if Marvel wants something and Sony really doesn't want it, Sony can still say no. Like, we don't want that. Like, it's still Sony's property, but Spider-Man's now a part of the MCU, and Marvel's going to help Sony making the film. So it's kind of like a bit of both. Like, they're really helping out the Marvel Cinematic Universe by allowing Spidey to be in it, and as a result, they're going to help the Spider-Man franchise and help Sony. So it's kind of like, instead of one of them being the winner and one of them being the loser, it's like they're both helping each other, which I think is really cool. I mean, I can't think of it. I mean, it's probably a better question for Tommy, but I can't think of a time when I've really thought of two different companies, two different businesses coming together just to help each other like that. Even though they're helping themselves as well. But I just think it's cool. I like it. Oh man, I'm getting really sore throat. The cutest tiger there ever was is back and said, when is your birthday and why did you get a cat if you don't like him? Good question. My birthday is the 11th of August 1988, so very, very fast approaching my 27th birthday. I am indeed becoming a very old man. And I know there's probably people older than me right now. We're going to go, what are you talking about? I'd love to be 26 again. But I don't know. I remember when I was 18. I still wish I was a kid again. Some of my best memories are running downstairs on a Saturday morning to go watch Pokemon. I know I care in a world. There wasn't stress. There wasn't bills. There wasn't deadlines. There wasn't... Hell, there wasn't like... I didn't worry about what anybody was doing other than if I got my Pokemon fix and if I was eating a bowl of Shreddies that morning. Like, that was all that mattered in the world. I miss being a kid. I loved being a kid. It was cool. I had a great childhood. And why did I get a cat if I don't like him? I do like him. He's just the bane of my existence. Like, it's a love-hate relationship between me and the cat. Like, I hate him at times, and he loves that I hate him. Like, there'll be times when I'm angry, especially if I'm recording a video or something like that, and he'll be scratching on the wall, and I'll poke my head out, and I'll make a noise, and bang, or something like that, to try and get him, and he'll be hanging off the wall, looking at me with big wide eyes, almost smiling, and then he won't move, no matter what I do. He will not move, and he'll keep scratching the wallpaper until I get up, and then he runs away. He just wants to get me out of my chair, and he loves it. And I think, like, if I'm doing something, like, I could be cooking dinner, I could be making a video, I could be doing work, I could be doing anything, and he'll just be asleep on the chair. I sit down to watch Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That is when the cat thinks it's suddenly playtime. And I get angry, and I, like, will you shut up? Like, well, I chuck him out. Like, I'm not dealing with this. And he finds it hilarious. Like, there is no way he can't. He runs back and forth. And, like, he literally pops his head around the wall and he looks at me and he waits for me to look at him. And the second I look at him, he jumps back and then, like, runs away and jumps on the bed. Like, he absolutely loves it. He loves it. So, so that's what I say. Like, it's a love-hate relationship. I don't really hate him. Like, there's many times I'm sitting here doing work, editing videos, and he's curled up on my lap. He comes bolting in, legs it on my lap, and then throws himself. Like, I always have, like, my left arm sort of laying, well, you can't really see it, like my left arm laying down, and he curls up in it, and sometimes he lays down and he looks up at me and he's like, well, you're going to put your arm there? Like, I want to lay down. Like, but yeah, no, it's like I do love him, but man, he loves it to make me angry. He really, really does. But no, to answer your question, I didn't choose to get the cat. My girlfriend Kaylee, she had already got the cat when she lived on her own. She had the cat, and then 2 years ago, just gone, we moved in together, And obviously, she brought the cat with her. So, and though I do love the cat, I mean, every time I say about it, I'm only joking. I do love the cat. It's just at times we also hate each other. So it's because I'm at university and I make these videos. I'm at home quite a lot. I work pretty much from home, so we spend a lot of time together. And there's only so much time you can spend together, even if one is an animal, before you hate each other. And it's like that. It's just that's just the way it is. Anyway, moving on. The General of Fire said, I was going to say you could go back to saying last week's video, but yes, then I missed the video, so that's fair enough. P.S. I don't know how to get the code, we'll fight for food, and how to unlock it. Yeah, I replied to you, just so you know, like I've already replied to it. But yeah, if you go in your inbox, the code should be there. Like I personally didn't know inboxes on YouTube was a thing. Like, I found out about it and had so many unread messages because I didn't know inbox still existed. Like, I don't get an email, I don't get a notification when I get an inbox message. So it's almost like YouTube's trying to phase it out and pretend it doesn't exist as well. So but yeah, so I sent you an inbox message. If you go into Creative Studio in like the top right hand corner, and then you go down to community, and there's a bit that says messages, and you go on inbox. It might be put under spam, so just go check that. And then if you go into Steam, you just type in the redeem code, and that's how you get it. So, but yeah. Sheik Nabi said, "Hey Dave, it's me again. What do you think about Spider-Man being turned black and Hispanic, Miles Morales? I think it was a very brave and a very successful maneuver, because Spider-Man has always been one of Marvel's most popular characters. It was the first superhero that was relatable. Like, you always had Tony Stark, who's a billionaire, Thor, the God of Thunder, Captain America, the Super Soldier. You had, bear in mind he was a kid when he was turned into the Super Soldier. But anyway, they were all big, larger-than-life icons. Like the Hulk, he was a physicist before that, or wherever Banner is. Spider-Man was a teenage superhero. This was the first of its kind. Not only was he a teenage superhero, he was a teenage superhero who got picked on at school. He was that weedy, nerd little kid. And he became a superhero. And he still had life, he still had to get home for a curfew, he still had all this sort of stuff. So it made Spider-Man the first relatable superhero for a lot of people, whether you were young or not. Like, even if you're an adult, you were still young at one point, so you could still relate to it. I think, man, that was just like my childhood. So when they made the Ultimate Universe, it was basically saying, like, what if we had all these superheroes? What if we had the Avengers? What if we had Spider-Man, Daredevil? What if we had the X-Men? What if we had these, like the Fantastic Four and that? And they became superheroes, but in the 21st century. Like, haven't been superheroes for years. Like, now is when they get their powers. How would the world react to them now? And that was basically what the Ultimate Universe was going to be like. Like, back then, they were like, who is this marvelous gentleman in the sky? It is Captain America, even though he doesn't fly, so I don't know why he's in the sky. Nowadays, if there was a guy running along, if there's a man in armor shooting people in the Middle East, like, the government would be losing their mind. They would be going ballistic. They would be using satellites to track, like, you wouldn't have secret identities. The second Spider-Man went out and started attacking people, the government would be like, track him. On a satellite, they were like, right there he lives, let's go bring him in. Like, it's the way I imagine it would go. So that was what the Ultimate Universe was. So now, Spider-Man was the one who kicked off the Ultimate Universe as well. So killing off Peter Parker in the Ultimate Universe was a big deal. It was almost like it was a tester to see how fans would react if that happened in the 616, like the main continuity of Spider-Man. So it was a big move, because Spider-Man was the thing that started their Ultimate Universe. So to kill him off was a very big move, a very, very big move, and one that I personally was really gutted about, because Ultimate Spider-Man is my favourite comic book arc. I could reread that over and over again. It was fantastic. It was so good. It was so good. Ultimate Spider-Man was just amazing. So I was upset when they killed him off. I was really gutted, but I knew it was coming. I didn't start reading Ultimate Spider-Man until they'd already killed him off, so I knew it was eventually coming. It just still sucked when it happens. Like, even reading it, it was like a 4-issue arc called Death of Spider-Man, so I knew it was going to happen. Like, I'd known from the very start. Yet still, a part of me inside was like, what if he survives? Like, no, he's gonna get out of this. Like, I even knew Miles Morales was a character by this point, and I'm like, but he might survive. He might get out of it. Like, I was really didn't want him to go. But anyway, enough of that. That isn't even what you asked me. So, to make him black, to make him Hispanic, I think it was a good move. And Marvel was always being, I feel, at the forefront of change and being at the forefront of making things different. Just like more recently with Miss Marvel being a Muslim teenage girl. And then I think that's what they tried to think. They thought, right, Spider-Man was really relatable to everyone when he first came out. So if we're going to make a new Spider-Man, let's make him relatable. So I think they must have just looked and thought, in America right now, what is relatable? And I think not only did they think there was a huge Hispanic community, or black and Hispanic, I guess, community, they must have thought this, like, I don't know, like, I can't think of the word in my head. Like, I had the word in my head just now, but I've rambled on for so long, I've completely lost it. But they must have just thought that this is going to be a good move. Like, not only is there like a huge community that is going to get behind this character, but it's something new, and there's so many new stories they can make from this. Because let's face it, there's only so many stories you can do with Peter Parker. Like in 616, they can just keep it going and going and going. But eventually, it would just be rehashed stories. This is brand new. This is something that has never been done, or at least like in Spider-Man's continuity. So, I don't know, I'm rambling a little bit. I lost the point. Like, I was going to say something, I completely forgot what it was. But no, I think it was a really cool idea. And it has worked so well. Like, he's the only Ultimate character that I can think of, like, Ultimate Universe character, that everyone loves this much. Like, there's no other Ultimate Universe character that I can think that fans love this much. And I can only assume with Secret Wars, which is happening now, but obviously I haven't read any yet because I'm still catching up. But they're obviously going to keep Miles Morales. I would be so shocked if they killed him off. Like, it would surprise me extremely if they killed him off, but they won't. But anyway, no, I'm actually once I eventually catch up with Avengers, New Avengers, I plan on reading some Miles Morales Spider-Man. I've been wanting to do it for a long time actually. But anyway, the cutest tiger ever was back again, said Dave. Also, did you know that Javik eats fish? Yes, I did. Maybe I should go to my cabin now and see if everything is all right. I almost forgot. What is your cat's name? Oh, my cat's name is Beano, because he's completely white, like bleach white. So Kaylee thought it was funny because he looks albino to call him Beano. So there he is, which is weird because my friend also had a white cat and called him Albie because of albino. So I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, no, he's actually really lucky out of the entire litter. Like, a couple of them were born blind, a couple of them were born deaf, others had like really serious problems and either died or got hit by cars and stuff, and ours is the only one. He's had one surgery. He had some bowel problem, which cost me a stupid amount of money for a cat that winds me up. But but no, he's been extremely lucky out of the whole litter. But yeah, B knows his name. The General's Fire said, I'm bored out of my mind, and you did not upload a Cap's Quarters, but I have a question to be continued. Fair enough. I will sit on the edge of my seat and wait. And finally, the last question of this, probably, I bet you can say, really is a double build Captain's Quarters. We've been going on for some time. Is by Blight3D28. Yet again, a new name. Hello, I'm loving all these new people. If you got limitless funds, would you either become Batman or buy technology to mimic Spider-Man's powers? So, like faking Spider-Man abilities with tech. See, faking the abilities with tech would be cool, but I get the feeling that if something went wrong, like maybe like if I've got good tech and that's how I'm attacking people, I get the feeling I'd come across a foe that was equally skilled with tech. If they hacked my tech, or if my tech just broke, I wouldn't know how to fix it, and I would be defenseless. Like, they could just attack me. However, if I became Batman, I've got a suit of armor around me. Like, so if my tech failed, like all my gadgets went completely kaput, I've still got armor around me. I can still try and get out of there with bullets bouncing off me and a nice like bending as they hit me and stuff like that. So I'd probably go Batman. I'd probably be Batman, which is probably not the answer people thought with the whole Spider-Man being involved. But like, if it was, do I have Spider-Man's powers or loads of money like Batman? Then no, Spider-Man's powers. But if I've just got technology that mimics Spider-Man's powers, then no, I'm going the Batman route. But yeah, just like that, I think my girlfriend's just got home as well. So that's perfectly timed for the end of the Captain's Quarters this week. But it's just been cool. I kind of like this. I think this is definitely the way we should do things from now on. But not necessarily next week, but some point down the line, I'm planning on getting these things as like live streams instead. So that way I can answer the questions from last week and at the same time answer like questions live, and I can sort of just flick back between the two, and it'd be cool. It'd be like I'm really actually talking to you guys, which is really what I want. I think it's actually kind of cool. That's definitely what I want to do. But with that being said and done, that brings this Captain's Quarters to the end. If you guys could just let me know, what's the audio been like? Has it been okay? Like, hopefully, like the audio hasn't dropped out. It's like crackling like it did before. But is it okay? Is this something that's manageable? Can you guys listen to this, or is it a bit that sort of internet tinny sort of pixelated sound? If it's like that, then I'll look at eventually investing in a better webcam. But if this is alright, let me know in the comments. That'd be cool. And other than that, let me guys know any questions you want to ask me, or anything you just want to say, anything you want to go off the chest. But any questions you want to ask me, put in the comment section below, and I'll get through it and I'll answer it next week. But with that being said, my name's Captain Dave. This has been the Captain's Quarters, and I'll catch you guys later.